Hey there, and welcome back to Temporary Locals.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Megan, and this week our guest is taking us to the Peruvian Amazon.
Ooh.
But before we get into that, if you're new here, Jared and I are an adventure loving couple. We share our real stories and experiences from the places that we've actually been. When sometimes we host fellow travelers who've been to places that are still on our bucket list. So whether you're planning your next adventure or you're just here for the storytelling, we are so glad that you're here. And we hope that you join us and subscribe. We put out new episodes every week ish. Today, our guest is a return guest. We have Hostel Bob, who's a professional wrestler and travel vlogger, and he travels and wrestles all over Mexico, Central, and South America. And he wrestles under the name Bobby Flaco. We've had him on previously, episode 27, to discuss his time in Guatemala, and we're excited to welcome him back. You can find him on YouTube at hostel_Bob, Instagram at hostel_Bob, and on Facebook, Bobby Flaco. And we'll put his socials down in the description box. But without further ado, let's get into our episode. Alrighty, awesome. Welcome back on. We are super excited to talk to you about your time in the Amazon. We just saw, a couple of your social posts, and it looked awesome. So we have some questions, but we'll just kick it off. Welcome back, and
Thanks for coming on again. Returning guest. We've had a few, but it's always good to see you. And you do some really cool stuff, man. So we're excited to have you back on and hear about your adventures in the Amazon. It seems like a really fascinating place.
Dude, thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all having me on and even just like watching and, the whole interacting and all that kind of stuff on social media, dude. It's really cool. And I enjoy watching y'all shit as well. But hell yeah.
Yeah.
Today, I think we'll go to Iquitos, Peru. I just got
Okay.
back from like a month long trip and I kind of started at the beginning of that. Which there's good stories at the beginning of that, but all of it can be long, you know what I mean? So I think I was trying, and I just got through talking about Coca, Ecuador, where I spent the night with a random family. I did it on the weekend at Effie's podcast. Y'all were sharing my boy Effie's stuff, so that's cool. I appreciate it. So y'all know about Iquitos, Peru? Have y'all like seen videos about it and shit?
Yeah, it's like an island, kind of, but it's in the Amazon, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Iquitos, Peru is an island. It's basically like I think the water surrounding it is a mixture of like runoff from the Amazon River, the actual Amazon River, um, and there's another river right there that kind of flows side by side on the Amazon River. And yeah, it's like an actual island deep in the middle of the Amazon River in the Amazon rainforest. And it's kind of the like, or at least to me anyways, at first it kind of seemed like the cheapest and easiest way to like get out to the Amazon and actually like be deep in it, you know what I mean? Without really having to like do a whole, call somebody ahead and do a tour type thing, you know? It seemed like a place where
yeah,
like one of these like you can go there and like kind of go through the city and figure out where your tour is gonna be at, figure out where to find
Right.
your tour. Or you could also just like hang out in the city and it's fucking insane. You know what I mean? Antigua's kind of like that too. Like it's not like all the way insane, but like it's a good city to hang out at too. I've actually never done the fucking volcano thing. As crazy as that sounds, I've been to Antigua like 4 times. I like to find these places where
yeah.
good jumping off points. You know what I mean? But places that you can also just
Right.
like walk out the door and it's like the streets are just filled with animals and markets and shit. Anyways, yeah, Iquitos is like wild. It's got a pretty there's like witch markets and shit like that. It's got some pretty crazy history. I
You
mean,
said
it's an
witch
island.
markets?
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand too much about it, but I've just seen some stuff that I posted. They got like a picture of I took a picture of like just the products, and they were like diabetes cure, cancer cure, like whatever the fuck, every little thing you can think of, like, and also like just like snake juice, boa juice, like just the craziest, weirdest, like that type of
Yeah.
shit. And it's also like,
Now in the
it's go ahead, please.
yeah, in the markets in Iquitos, is that where they have, like, they'll have plastic bottles, like water bottles, filled with, like, ayahuasca that you can buy? Because I've seen that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. It's that concept of thing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, I'm sure they'll sell you ayahuasca too. Like, I didn't physically put my eyes on that. But yes, it's like the
Right,
bottles with weird colored shit on the inside of it. Like a whole snake,
right.
like all that shit. You can there's a lot of these types of markets in Latin America where it's like, the raw meats are out in the open and shit like that. You can buy
Mhm.
piranhas, you can buy alligators, you can buy stuff like that. And it's like, there's a lot of these neighborhoods they have to adjust with the water. So the houses either are float on balls of trees. I have friends that live in houses literally that just float on balls of trees and this crazy polluted water. And they also have parts where the place he took me is like called Belen, which is kind of the market also. But like it's a community where the water comes and goes as well, like one of those Venice communities where you have to boat everywhere, but the water also
Mhm.
goes away. Like there's businesses under there when the water goes away too. So it's
Wow.
sick. So I was just trying to kind of halfway explain Iquitos, but
Yeah.
yeah. So there's this guy Drew Imhoff, something like that. I'll send y'all his information. Drew Imhoff Explorers on YouTube. Drew Tours on Instagram. Again, I'll send you the right stuff. So because it was he's 100% professional. Like it was very cool. Like I said, I've been to this place a couple times and not really gotten the tours. But this time I met this guy on Instagram, watching a couple of he's done. Have you ever watched Seal vlogs? Your boy
Yes.
Seal. Yeah, so he did some
Yep.
work for Seal. He did. I don't know if you watched him in the jungle, but that's the guy that's with Seal
Mm,
that went through Ecuador.
okay.
And yeah, so I hit
So is
him
he a
up,
local?
he lives in Iquitos, Peru. Yeah,
Right, okay.
and he lives in Iquitos, Peru. He's lived in Iquitos for 5 years. Yeah, he's an American
Oh,
guy, and
wow.
he just fucking picked me up at the airport. Normally, the airport at Iquitos, Peru is a pretty fun experience because like no cars can get to this place. Like that's like the big stat of Iquitos. Like no cars, no boat, or no cars can arrive to the place. There's no roads literally that get there. So like there's cars there, but they had to get like the car that my buddy got had to be brought in from Lima, Peru on like a bunch of boats and like trails and ferries and all kind of crazy shit to get there. And then yeah, he just picked me up but normally it's a pretty cool thing. Like you get to get in these rickshaws. There's a bunch of rickshaws out there and you get to bargain with those guys. And there's only really one place you're going. Like Iquitos is a relatively small part, especially like the center. So it's not a small city. There's like 600,000 people there actually. There's 600,000
Mhm.
people on an
Wow.
Oh,
island in
wow.
the middle of the Amazon.
Yeah.
So that just contributes to it just being a distinct like people, you know what I mean? It's interesting, interesting, interesting. Um but yeah, normally you get to
What is
bargain. Go ahead.
what is their economy there? Is it a lot of tourism, or what do they have going on there?
The original exploration and economy there was like the very first place of the rubber boom. So the bigger
Yeah.
buildings and the larger economy that used to exist there is a lot of that. Um, it was like one of the first places. There's like a museum that Drew took me to that's like just like this big ass fucking boat, like right on the edge of the river where the city's at, where the main plaza of the city's at. And like it's just like explaining like how the people came all the way across Brazil into Iquitos to like create some of the very first like rubber farms and like y'all pretty educated on shit like this, but like one of the first rubber booms was out of the Amazon and you had to go in the Amazon and fucking get it. Like they
Right.
tried to make a farm out of it and it didn't work. So like that was the main
That
place that
makes
did it and
sense.
it got yeah, and it got very, very rich very quick. It was like the same colonization type shit, all that awful stuff. But they became rich very quick and then I think like the demand just kind of went away for all that
Mhm.
because you see like I mean Lima, Peru, Mexico City type buildings in there on some parts, beautiful, 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 like Latin American buildings. But that the demand for the rubber or maybe other people figured out how to make it. I don't know, but the demand for it just kind of went away. And then what remained of it, I guess during that time, it also started becoming a hub, a port. It's one of the main ports in the Amazon for sure. Like it's the biggest city besides Manaus, I think, in the Amazon. Manaus
Mhm.
might not. I think Manaus got like 1 million people or some shit in the Brazilian Amazon. But then they're really, really
Yeah.
far away from each other. But
Yeah, I believe the rubber boom happened during World War One, and there was a big, like, need for rubber, and so that's kinda they were called rubber barons, and they would go down
yep,
there into the Amazon because they had all the rubber trees down there, and so just completely, like, decimated entire sections of the Amazon, but I believe it was actually World War One, if I am remembering that correctly, like, that's why there was all that need for the rubber, but yeah, I've
yeah,
seen, like, documentaries on it and stuff. It's really interesting.
yeah. I don't know a time, but just I can just imagine. Cars are becoming a thing. Motorcycles are
Yeah.
becoming a thing. Yada 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 yada. Yeah, but either like during that time or maybe after, like as a what are we gonna do now? It became the hub that it is, and I mean, yeah, the economy there is like just import and export from the in places in the Amazon, I imagine. I mean, you can get something from there all the way to the United States, to Spain, but also like there's an economy there of people that need supported too. So people from all over the Amazon come to Iquitos. That's one of the big ports on that side of the Amazon, and it is
Mhm.
the actual fucking Amazon River. So like a lot
Yeah.
of stuff goes on in there. It's a little bit. It's like because when you go from the place to the actual Amazon River, it is a little bit harder to get. It's they're not so direct, I don't think, but yeah, it's just a big ass port, and now there's tourism and the ayahuasca and all that shit. It's one of the main places for tourism to go see the Amazon. That's what brought me out there for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna ask. What made you go out there? Were you out there for wrestling, or were you out there just for pleasure?
No, I've been to man. That's one of my favorite places. I think it's one of my favorite city in the world to go. I've been there 4 or 5 times now. I just added to the tour most of the time. At this point, I had been talking to Drew about doing about him taking me around, and I knew I was gonna do another wrestling thing at some point. So yeah, I was doing a wrestling tour, but I didn't like wrestling in Iquitos, Peru. I was just part of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I always try
Yeah,
to
that's
sprinkle
awesome. I
sprinkle
love
it.
that you maximize your time. You're gonna be close to somewhere and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna be here, but, Iquitos isn't that far, so I'm gonna go hit that up." I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
We kinda
yeah,
do the same thing when we're traveling too.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just one flight from Lima, and you're just right the fuck there. You know,
Yeah.
it's pretty
And
great.
were the floating slums, was that in Iquitos?
Yes, that's in Iquitos. Yeah, that's the
Alright.
neighborhood Berlin of that. That was so yeah. Getting there, yeah, the guy just picks me up and we hung out or whatever. Kind of made a plan. We kind of met up for dinner and decided like how many days I wanted to do and what I wanted to do with them and comparing costs and all that type of stuff. And yeah, we just kind of made a plan. The first day was Berlin, which would be like the market that I'm telling you about, the floating slums, the floating bar. And that was kind of it for like the whole first day. He gave me a tour and great, great prices and just very right to it, like just right to the punch in your mouth, like content, right into the stuff that you kind of really want to do because you guys have probably experienced with a tour guide or without a tour guide. Like tour guides can be fucking lame at some points, you know what I mean? And there
Mhm.
is something super valuable to just like getting out somewhere like Iquitos, like I do most of the time, and just walk the streets and buy some shit and talk to somebody and buy somebody a coffee and talk to them, whatever. But like it just was super valuable on that day for to just link up with Drew and be like, the first thing he wants to do is eat the worms. And I've done ate the fucking worms before, okay? Like I've been there and done that. And he was like, "Yeah, we need to get some protein." I'm like, dude, I was just so surprised that he actually meant to get protein from these worms. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he said breakfast, you know what I mean? This is an American guy. And I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, whatever. Like, I'll eat it, I guess. Like, but that's not what I want to have for breakfast. You know, I was like, no, we're going to be snacking all day. And which we were. We were trying little shit all day. But yeah, it was so funny. The first thing was the worms. And I would eat, you know, the little suri worms, like the fat fucking, I forgot what they're called. They just call it
Like a
suri in like the
grub?
native one. Yeah, the grub worms. Yeah, I'll send you pictures of them. There's like a skewer, like a
Mhm.
kebab with like
Okay,
4 or 5 just fat grub worms. And they just
but they're
got them
not,
on the
like,
grill.
alive when you're eating
Not
them, right?
anymore. No, no, no,
No.
no,
Okay,
no.
okay.
They do the thing. They do the thing. I'll send you a video of that too. They do a thing of like they'll put it in a bowl of water in front of you so you can see it alive, or maybe not the one you're gonna eat, but like so you can see one alive. You know, and it like
Yeah.
it like doesn't even inchworm because it's in the water, so it makes it look even weirder. But yeah, those shits are gross, man. They were okay. Like I ate one before, and like it was all right. Like I liked it, and I was like, let me try the second one, and the second one was just fucking gross. And I was telling him like, you know, like, I was like, Drew, this ain't my first rodeo, bro. Like, we really don't got to do the worms. And he was like, he used the term. He was like, these things are objectively good. And I'm like, all right, buddy. So Drew's an absolute legend. So we order the worms or whatever, and it's all like part of the tour part of the tour. It's all included or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know what's distracting me. Maybe I'm recording some shit. Maybe I'm looking at something. But I had taken like my nibble, my first like nibble or whatever. And I turn around and I just hear, and I look around and my man has kind of got the whole red face and he's like, not throwing up, but he's not having he's not enjoying these worms like at all. I was like, dude, I told you we didn't have to fucking do this shit, man. And like, I don't know. We got into the conversation of like, there's a difference in like, you know how sometimes the shrimp still got the poops in them?
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's saying the worms that we had still had the poops in them, which I don't imagine they ever took the poops out. But anyways, he pushed through. He pushed through them. He's a gangster with it. I did not. I was like, I don't have anything to prove to these people. I gave
Right.
mine away. I gave my shit away. I took my one little nibble, and I was like, well, this kind of sucks. Let's like look and see where he's at with it. And luckily for me, he was all red in the face, so I felt a little bit better about not finishing my shit. But then we went on from there. So if you ever been to this town, like there's a couple of just like entrances, and like if you've seen the videos too, it's like you're kind of up in the city looking down to what's like sometimes the riverbank, and there's like all these like tin roof houses, and they're saying like this is the line where you don't like go cross or whatever. So we just kind of went down in there, and it's just like you guys have seen the clips. It's just like certain places you go and they're like, they're gonna rob you, they're gonna rob you. Like, sure enough, we started walking down the street, and us two gringos kind of walked down into the ghettos of Iquitos. And he knows folks, but I don't. And sure enough, somebody yells out the window, "Be careful! They're gonna rob you! They're gonna rob you! Be careful!" And we're just like, "Oh, okay, thanks."
Thanks
And
for looking out.
yeah, they're looking out, brother. Thank you. But honestly, it was fine. I don't even think he really had an actual like connection person down there. I just think he kind of knows how to navigate, and like knows what happens. He knows how to navigate the police pretty well, if we need to.
Mhm.
But and I say that to say because we just got down there, and just like any other like somewhere in Guatemala or Mexico or just like anywhere else where there's a taxi, like you get down there like you're not in the water yet, you're still on the ground, and you get down, 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 down. Eventually, you see what you've seen everywhere, and you're just in Venice. Like you get down to the bottom, and like the last little row is like, or you get down to the bottom, and like the road is like fucking. There's water in it. It's pretty cool though because up here they've built like a park that got a little bit of elevated. So there's like a park with like the playground and like little stores and stuff. They're selling stuff, but right here is like the bay where the little mini bay where the water from the river flows in. And there's like people selling shit out there, and just a couple guys, just like any other situation in Latin America, like, hey, where you going? You want to come? Blah, blah, blah. And they ended up
Mhm.
negotiating or whatever. And we get a tour, and it's not even like a boat. It's like a boat. It's like Wait, I think it was a regular boat with an actual motor. But I think for a while we were doing like the thing where you kind of push it with a pole or
Yeah.
whatever, and that's how you would navigate the place. It's really hard. It's really hard to explain this shit. But you just like if you're looking out into what would be like a city street with like a business on the bottom and like the common thing of like a house on the top or maybe like a different business on the top, like 3/4 of that business is just covered up with water. Like the whole, the whole just, it's all just fucking flooded. And it just goes on forever back into what eventually becomes the Amazon River. And these houses are just built like just one after another. And for walking, you can either boat around or they build these like one or two board pathways that you just kind of got to balance on like a ballerina. And either that or you'll
Mhm.
fall in the piss and shit water, which we're not accustomed to. There's kids swimming in there, but we're not accustomed to it. And yeah, it's just
Right.
crazy mind fuck. Like there's fish all over the place. There's people fishing. There's kids jumping in. And I mean, there's no plumbing in any of these houses. It's just a hole and you piss and shit into the water. Even the showers, like it's like I've seen some where it's like you just pick up the one of the boards is kind of loose, and you pick up one of the loose boards and you move it out the way, and you kind of stand around it, and you can kind of bathe there because the water is just gonna fall into the
Mhm.
water. And I don't know what they do when the water goes away. I guess they got to go somewhere else to pee or like whatever. But yeah, you just hire a boat and he just pushes you through these. I mean, we walked a little bit first, but yeah, you just walk. You can walk around and like there's stores, there's schools, there's everything. There's just regular life. People sitting out on the front
Mhm.
porch. People really, really enjoying it. People fishing. Like they're just living on these. That's just how they live on a little floating area. And then the water does go away. The water is probably gone by now. Uh, so now instead of living in a floating area, they got this big ass. Like my family has a home in Florida that's going to be built like that now because of insurance. Like they get it elevated so the water can just flow underneath, and they got like a little place to
Mhm.
hang out
Mm.
underneath after after the water goes away or whatever. It's a crazy, crazy place, and it is a little bit dangerous. Like my guide Drew was a pretty good guide, and we had protection with the boat. We hired a boat or whatever. But there did eventually come a point to where like we had to turn around and like go back, because yeah, you can just push through and you can take one of those videos where everybody to J and like you have to hand out money and like it's just kind of not fun. It's not it's you know what I mean? I couldn't do that, but we decided
Right.
not to. We decided not to. Um but yeah, we hired the guy to take us to a bar that was floating on the river, and we paid for the like we got the driver a couple beers or whatever. Yeah, you just go, and it's a good way to get a tour too, because there's a bar that's kind of like far. So we just
Mhm.
fucking like yeah, you just imagine just driving a boat up the river, and there's just you just gotta see pictures, man. There's just like house after house, and it's not like a safe place, but like what are you gonna do? Like and cover up your whole house in the fucking Amazon. We don't have any AC. It's all almost open air type of shit. Small
Mhm.
amounts of wood,
Yeah.
like plywood looking stuff, for lack of a better term, with a tin roof, just all elevated. And y'all have seen it in other places too, but it's just the kids are running around, the kids are happy, having a good time. Fucking, you throw crazy signs at them, they're like, oh, kids are just funny everywhere. Um,
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. We got to go to the floating bar, and it's just like any other establishment. Oh, the gas stations are interesting to see. You're like, "What's that thing floating out there?" And it's like, that's where the guy goes to get gas. It's like, "Where are we going?" We stop. Yeah, the floating bar, and like the thing about Berlin was basically the main attraction. I mean, so much, just really good footage, like the whole time, just filming
Mhm.
everything basically. Yeah, it's all really hard. Like you'll just see like a mom and a kid, and like two little of the the little containers they put the jugos in to sell or the aguas or whatever. Like just
Mhm.
she's heading up to the city. Because I mean, fuck, there's 600,000 people right here. That's way bigger than where I live. Like
Yeah.
it's such a crazy juxtaposition there for sure.
And
Wow.
so the people in Iquitos, I assume, overall speak Spanish, but is there any sort of overlap? Because I know obviously it's the Amazon, so I'm sure there are distant villages and things where like people speak a more native language. Like in Peru, like in Cusco, for example, they speak Spanish, but the further outside of Cusco you kind of get into the Andes, people start speaking like Quechua, and like you'll see people speak like the more native tongue, I guess. So, did you encounter anybody in Iquitos that spoke like not Spanish, but like some sort of other Amazonian language?
Dude, yeah. Most it's so you said Quechua. Yeah, Quechua was the more common Inca one, right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how common of like an Amazonian one there exists. I think it's really really varied. I think it's very varied, just because of, and I might be wrong about all of this, but I'm inferring like just the nature of the Amazon, like just how the tribes are now, like or the indigenous people are now, like or the tribes that they haven't talked to now, like small groups kind of just all the fuck over the place. You listen to Paul Rosalie talking. It's like, yeah, they can't. There's two different. Everybody kind of speaks Spanish, but like there's two different tribal languages, and they're kind of like Spanish and Italian to each other, like they're real close. So to answer your
Right.
question, unless I'm just stupid and don't know it, I think they're pretty. It's pretty spread out. I don't know what the most common one is. I know there is an Iquitos people and an Iquitos language, and Drew was telling me about it. Like that number is very very low, like less than 100 people
Right.
that
But
are
the
the
people that
Iquitos.
you encountered in Iquitos mainly spoke Spanish, is what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, but there's all I think there is a pretty common one, bro, because I was learning about the Spanish in Iquitos is a mixture of like a bunch of different. Well, the slang Spanish in Iquitos is like
Mhm.
is a mixture of a bunch of different native languages too, right? So Drew was also telling me about this. Like, though you'll have like a phrase. I didn't take any of them. I didn't remember any of them, but like, he was teaching me some slang things that'll be like, "Oh, dame la," native word, like, and everybody knows what you're talking about. Like, oh, even the guy that may not speak that particular native language. There's
Mhm.
a number of them that are pretty like common that gets sprinkled into the Spanish that gets spoken in Iquitos, and like the slang includes all these local influences. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know what the most common one is, and I mean, yeah, most people. Anytime I'm at a boat, they're speaking some kind of weird language. That's apart from Spanish.
Right.
And I mean, my Spanish is really really good. But yeah, I don't really know the answer to that question. I think it's spread out, but I'm not very sure.
Yeah.
The Yakua, we ended up seeing the Yakua the next day. They got a specific language, obviously.
Yeah, tell us that story. So you went and visited a like actual Amazonian tribe, right?
Yep, yep, yep. We went to the Yakua. Yeah, that was day two. Day two was basically like getting, yes, that's all we did basically. Day one was ended at the bar. Basically, I'm pretty easily satisfied with my adventures. That's all I need. That was a good day. Um ended at the or I'm sorry, ended at the bar. And the next day was just deep, just getting in a boat for a long time was kind of in my brain how I wanted it, and what ended up being kind of the theme of the next day, which is always good, man. We did the tribe. We went to the island of the monkeys, and we did some other shit. Oh,
And
which
this was all
again,
part of the tour?
yeah, there's two different like deals. You know what I mean? I worked out one deal for Baylin, and then worked out one day for Island of the Monkeys tribes. You know how shit goes in the Amazon. It kind of can vary a little bit, but that's like the idea of it. The second day. And yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty sick. And again, there's just a lot of different connections that my man has, and we ended up going back to the same spot. Uh, just to get on the boats, hopping on some boats, and ended up going. we got a little bit bigger, more like, it was a nice boat I could sit down in with like, life jackets and all that shit. And we ended up taking off up the river. I think it was actually taking off up the just regular old Amazon River. And I think we were supposed to go to like another tribe, to be honest. I think it didn't work out with this other tribe we were going to, which how do I put this? It was like would have been a little less cell bracelety, you know, a little bit more like
Mhm.
an actual like friend this guy's got that lives deep as hell out there, you know.
Mm.
These tribes, the Yakua they've been around the Amazon forever, so they've been doing this thing forever. Supposedly, a story about them is that they were the tribe that was seen on the Amazon River wearing these skirts. And
Mhm.
yeah, where the legend of the Amazon River, how it comes from the Greek myth of Amazons because the Spanish explorers, when they first came down the Amazons, reported seeing female warriors. Somebody made up the one tit thing. The one tit thing never happened, but wearing skirts. Some people say, and again, I'm mixing this shit up probably, but some people say that they were just mixed up, and that was the Yakua people in these skirts from a distance. You know what I mean? Firing at them and trying to fight them, as opposed to being these mythical women or warriors that ended up being the reason we called the Amazon River the Amazon. But anyways, I don't know fucking nothing about this. I'm just in the river thinking we're going up to the monkeys and the tribes, and we ended up arriving at the tribes. It's pretty. It was badass, man. Like fuck, like I had my wrestling belt. Like I was able to do some interesting ass shit. I've actually had some good success due to the overwhelming negative comments in Instagram. Negative Instagram comments
Y
because I've been
yeah,
posting
I
about
saw
them.
that video where you showed was it the chief, your wrestling belt?
Yeah, um, the thing. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a punchline at the end, but yeah, like he actually said the chief thought I was a boxer, and the chief kept doing this number. Yeah. So, anyways, like we pull up there, we get to it, like they take us in the little room and we do the dance. I'm trying not to like skim through it, but not like you kind of know what it is with these guys. They take you over there, they do the dance. It was pretty sick. I got to shoot a dart gun at
Mhm.
at like this target. It was pretty sick. I guess I don't blow that good, but yeah, it's cool, man. They dance around for you. You're deep. We've been driving up the Amazon like an hour, an hour or two. So we are deep out there. But I finally get the courage because I'm super shy with stuff like that. But I was like, let me go see if this guy let me do some content with the fucking belt. So yeah, the chief, I give him this belt and he keeps doing this number. He's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, John Cena. And he's like, keeps doing this number. And he like, I was like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like trying to make some kind of connection. He's like, you champion. There's need to say that, but that's kind of what I got from it. Like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And then, he kind of halfway posed with it. He said some cool shit. I was like, can you just be like, you're the champion, And he kind of said some whatever the fuck he said. And Drew told me that his the guy that Drew hired, who speaks the language, said that what the chief was saying, or maybe he said it to the guy in jest, and kind of like how you would say at the bar, I could beat that guy's ass. He
Mhm.
was like, because he thinks I'm a boxing champion. Oh, he kind of said something to the tune of like, oh, he thinks he's a champion. I could murder him and leave him dead in the jungle, or like some shit like that. Is like what he said. Kind of like again, kind of like the same way you would say, I'll beat that guy's ass.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit less of a death threat and more of just like a funny thing. But he did say that as we went to visit him. So that was cool. We got these guys to chuckle a little bit, to laugh and see something new. Some of them weren't smiling a lot. Uh, but yeah, I took some pictures with the belt and him. I don't know if there's ever been a wrestling champion that is fucking went and did a fucking shoot with the tribes. But also we also drank this like spit liquor, this fermented spit drink. You guys heard of that?
Mhm.
The Seal
Yep.
did it. Seal did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all just
Yeah, but for people who haven't heard of it, like, what is it and why do they make it
so
that
it's
way?
this stuff called Masato. It's a fermented yucca drink. Like, I think you probably could like let yucca just ferment and drink it, but supposedly saliva makes it ferment faster. So the women of the tribes will sit around and chew yucca and chew yucca and chew yucca and spit it out,
Mhm.
and they'll let it sit in a bucket and let it ferment, and it just becomes like a hooch, like a beer, like a shiny moonshine type operation, you know?
Mhm.
Right.
And I had seen it, luckily. I'd seen it before on the Seal vlogs, and fucking Drew breaks out the bucket. He's like, "Hey, you wanna try this?" And so Drew's a fucking G, dude. So I try it, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, it's, it's got it's got a beer thing going on, got the beer bubble, the beer buzz thing in it, but it's just fucking kinda gross." And I was like, "All right, buddy, you try it." I thought I was cool. I thought I was cool because I had just seen him, I feel like I'd won the worm situation, you know? So I was like, "Yeah, buddy, why don't you take
Mhm.
this shit and drink it?" And then he drank it's like he knew. It was like that guy at work that'll only do exactly half the work. Like, not that's just like an example. He's the best, but boop, boop, and he gets like half and he just hands it back to me. And it's a bowl, dude. It's like a bowl of fucking Cheerios, except for it's spit liquor, spit beer. I don't know if it's liquor or
Yeah.
beer or whatever, but yeah, so I just chugged the other half of the bowl and got in the boat, dude. And then
Did you feel anything from it? Was it like a high content alcohol or
nah, it would have been like a beer type thing, you know.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
beer or wine. It wasn't like, moonshine. If you drink that much actual shine like that, or the way I
Right.
know it. It's like I think it's a common
What's
word
the,
for
like, consistency?
Gross.
it was kinda just fucking like because there was chunks. There was
Oh.
chunks, so it was
Chunks of
just
yucca?
like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Chunks of yucca. So, like, it
Yeah.
was gross, dude. It was
Yeah,
it
so
kinda
because you
got
had
the
already
white.
seen it. Go
I was
ahead.
excited about it. No, I was just describing shitty chunks of yucca in a bowl. Yeah, no, it kinda mixed up. You know how when you put oh god, it's gonna sound You know when you put the fruit in the blender, but it all don't blend, it still
Right.
changes color, but, like, you got some strawberry chunks in there, you know? That's, like, how it was. It was white, and it was mixed or whatever, or, fermented or whatever the fuck, but, like, there was, like, pieces of yucca. It was fine. It was I did it. I drank more of that than I ate worms, so there you go.
Right.
That's true. Like, I just got yeah, it wasn't so bad that I was like, "I don't care what these people think." Like, I was still good, you know? But,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
I would choose the worms over the drink. 'Cause I
really.
don't know, there's just for me personally, I can eat gross shit, but something about drinking something gross is worse to me. I don't know. You agree?
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, eh, I think the thought of drinking someone else's spit.
That's
So
worse than worms.
if I didn't know and somebody was like, "Try this," I would probably try it, but I think it would be harder if somebody said, "Here, try this, and this is how it's made."
Yeah. I've drank juice spit before, so
Oh god. No, that's horrible. I picked up the wrong cup
Yeah.
too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Have y'all done pulque in Mexico?
Mm-mm.
It's
Uh-uh.
kinda like it's got like a snotty texture to it too. I guess I'm a
Mhm.
little bit less sensitive to that. I don't know. 'Cause but it was also my first time too. I probably will not go back and drink a bowl of that shit again, you know? Kinda like the first time
Right.
I ate the worms the first time. Well, I ate 1 worm the first time. But yeah, when I was deeper in the jungle, we would eat the little ones that are digging through the palm trees or the palm leaves or whatever, and that's fine. It's just like, well, just kinda pop it back, you know? It's not even really much of anything. But yeah, I guess I am a little bit less sensitive
Mhm.
to weird liquids. I'm a picky eater, that's for sure. Like, I'm an adventurous, like, trier. Like, I'll try shit, but I'm gonna get a bowl of chicken fried rice on the side for sure, just to make sure I
Right.
get nice and
Yeah.
full. There was a time where me and
Yeah.
that dude Effie were talking about food in Peru, and he and I just talked about pizza and KFC for like 5 or 10 minutes. Like, yeah, people are shocked by my eating habits because of how I travel, you know? They're like, "Oh, he must be such a badass when it comes to eating." And like, my man Drew was like, I got I got a fish sandwich from the restaurant. We were talking and shit, and I like didn't want the lettuce on it. And I'm like, we're about to go eat bugs in the Amazon the next day. And this dude's just watching me pull lettuce and tomato off of my fucking sandwich. And he's like, "Oh, dude, you're not gonna survive out there, bro." Like, nah, it's just I'm just I just don't want this lettuce right now, But yeah, from
Yeah.
there, dude, we went and just fucking we went and got back in the boat and we went to the island of the monkeys, Isla de los Monos. Sorry, I wonder if I can to Monkey Island in Iquitos, Peru, which is I guess is another island apart from the other island. And it's like 2 hours like up the river, an hour up the river. All these boats got different motor sizes. So I can never like I don't know how long shit takes to get places because it depends what type of motor you get.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, dude, that Belen place is so crazy. Like, there'll just be a dude sitting on his fucking like his feet. You know how your feet dangle to the lake when you go fishing? Like, that'll be his
Mhm.
house, and he's just like got a fucking cane pole just fishing right there, and the
Yeah.
floating.
Damn.
But
Yeah.
Monkey Island, pretty crazy. I've never I was able to get some crazy pictures at Monkey Island, dude, because you're just right there with them. It's just like a rehabilitation center. It's pretty cool.
Is it still in the wild, or is it kind of like its own
So
center,
yeah,
like
there's
where it
the whole island itself is like the protective wildlife area of that, an area in which they let the animals go. Does that make sense? Like the place we
yeah, like
went
a
to was like
preserve?
the center, where the pictures I took were like recently rehabilitated or like maybe born in captivity. I'm not really sure what the situations are, but I do remember understanding that like that's kind of where the rehabilitation or more pet like animals are, and then like the whole island that they're sitting on is like where they release the animals to and their little the wild sanctuary,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
the wild part of the sanctuary. Dude, yeah, again, it's one of those things where you gotta like, oh, we stopped and looked for river dolphins. I've seen them a bunch out there, but I didn't see any this time. Dude, last time I was there, I was in my balcony in my apartment of this Airbnb. Like, yeah, the combination. Sorry, I'm moving back and forth. The combination of Airbnb and this tour guide is like really the most and like one of the only like recommendable for like normal folks. Like, I can tell my boy like, yo, rent this Airbnb, get a flight to fucking here, like talk to Drew, and like you're gonna be good and like have like an awesome. I wouldn't. It's not gonna require any like of the crazy adventures that I kind of get myself into. You know what I mean? Like, it just was like this
Right.
apartment I got is so badass. It's like just a normal apartment with the awesome like smoking section at the top that just overlooks these like all these floating houses and like it's like how I said the part where it's the overflow from the Amazon River, like kind of a lakeish. I don't know what they call those things, like the overflow part of the
Mhm.
Amazon River. I mean, like river planes will come and land, and like you'll see them come from the air and like land into the lake and like kind of push through and get to wherever they're going. There's all kinds of big fucking like we're right on top of the port, so there's all types of just like cargo coming and going, ships full of people, ships full of merchandise. It's just, man, it's just fucking cool. Like, and there's barely any cars, so a lot of people compare the city to like Vietnam or like one of those places in Southeast Asia where it's just like mostly motorcycles, mostly moto taxis, just like a whole bunch, like yeah, it's just like a
Right. Yeah.
really recommendable like shock. That's what I like when I travel. That's why I'm not so crazy about like Argentina and Uruguay. Like, I want to be shocked, like, when I go to these
Mhm.
places. And yeah, Monkey Island was pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's like any, I say like any, I've never really been to many rehabilitation centers, But it was just sick. You get to hang out with a bunch of monkeys. And then they take you on like a walk through the jungle. And a highlight of it for me was like we came up on like the trail was just flooded because, like I said, the water's kind of going away during this point. There's parts of it, I guess, if it would have been earlier, there would have been more water. But I got through most of the trail, and then the guy just takes his shoes off and walks through the like ankle deep water where it could be any snakes or piranhas or anacondas or stingrays
Oh,
or any of that shit. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
we're deep in the
that would be
Amazon.
so
We're like
hard to do.
we've boated hours up the Amazon, and like so I look at Drew and he just takes his shoes off too. So I just take my shoes off again, and it's hard to even actually this might be easier to explain than to show in the pictures, just because of like just listing dangerous animals. I don't know, but yeah, that was a big moment for me for sure. Like just walking with my fucking bare feet in the swampy water deep in the Amazon, just not giving a fuck. Like that was pretty.
Yeah, and it's not clear water either. You can't see what's down there.
Not really, especially after they go walking through it. Um, yeah, I was fucking with the guy. He was like ahead of me, and I was the third guy in the group. I was like, "Oh, you're going first. So if there's anything up there, like if you step on any snakes or whatever, it'll bite you." He's like, "No, it's the third person because the first person wakes it up, the second person pisses it off, and the third person is the one that gets bit." Like, fuck. All right,
You got me there.
got me there, brother.
Did you see did you see any wildlife? I mean, did you see anacondas or caimans, or did you encounter piranha at all?
I gotta say, not this trip, no. But I've done like kind of just a trip that I ended up buying from Iquitos, Peru, a previous time, and yeah, dude, for sure. Like, I think I paid like 50 or $60 a night for this fucking like balls deep fucking tour, and and I mean, this is like 3, 4, 5 hours from another. You got to go to another city in the river in the Amazon. Go there, go 4 or 5 hours deep up into that national park. And that shit, bro, I mean, we saw yeah, I kinda switch gears because that's a very interesting place too, man. Like, I saw river dolphins countless times. Tarantula, there's like a tarantula in this girl's
Mhm.
bed. Uh, Cayman. I have seen anaconda, but, like, at a rescue center. But, yeah, the caiman, dude, there was
Right.
just a
Mhm.
I mean, we did all the shit, bro. Like, some of these tours are crazy. Like, we did the piranha fishing, pulled fucking little baby piranhas out the fucking river. Uh, caught little baby catfish, and we got
Mhm.
to eat them as, like, more like a ceremony. They still cook the meals or whatever, but we got to bring back our little fishies and fucking eat them. Uh, Dude, the caiman, bro, you just go hunting for caiman at night, and you go to this, like, I don't know, like, lagoon area. These, like, lake parts will have, like, not lilies, but, like, just have vegetation growing over the top of them, and the boats cut trails through that, like, through the green, and
Right.
it's dark, and it's fucking insane,
Yeah.
but eventually, dude, like, just like the videos, like, they'll start shining a light, and you see a couple lights, a couple eyes reflect, couple eyes reflect, couple eyes reflect. And dude, and there's these girls with us, bro. All these European legends. You guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen them out there. Like, there'll just be like this fucking 19-year-old girl from Lebanon or from Germany or some shit. She's like, yes, I'm here for whatever they're just crazy, bro. Somebody like on their like graduate, like what's it called between college and graduate school? They're just out there in the
The
Amazon
gap
not
year.
giving gap year. They're just out there in the Amazon not giving a fuck. Like, I remember one time me and this girl woke up in the jungle, and I had like just brushed my teeth, and it was our time to drink coffee. Like, I had fucked that timing up. You know what I mean? I was like, I just fucking brushed my teeth, and now it's time to drink coffee. She's like, my whole life is drinking coffee after I brush my teeth. I'm like, you're a fucking legend, dude. Dude, we had a long day after, anyways, So I'll wrap it all up. I'll tie it all in anyways. So we see the Cayman eyes, and I shit you not, the guide just reaches his hand in the water, grabs a caiman, and hands it to this bitch. A wild caiman from the Amazon. Like, this ain't like there's no way you could fake this. And like, she just holds it, and she's like, "Oh, that's so fucking cool." And she hands it to me, and we're all just holding this like little baby fucking black caiman. I think no, I'm sorry, spectacle caiman. It's baby spectacle caiman. I think those are the calm ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then okay, so that night becomes real long.
Yeah.
And there's always boat problems, dude. I remember half of like one boat day was just like half of one day was just like boating to these different little houses and villages, seeing if like this guy wanted to buy another boat, and then like we were trying to get some repairs to our boat. Like, that was just what we did one day, was like go around and do that shit. And then anyways, yeah, that day was long as fuck. And we had planned to go camping on like somewhere else away from our base camp. And like, it was already getting dark and shit, like camp on the river, on the beach where the kind of beach dries up and makes a river. And the guy's like, "Are you going to do that anymore?" I'm like, "Fuck no, dude. I'm going to bed. I'm done." And these girls are just like, "Oh, fuck yeah, we're doing it." And it's dark already. It's dark now. We're looking at the Milky Way. We're looking at stars. Like, you can actually see the Milky Way. I know you probably got stars. I got stars where I'm at. But you can actually, like, it's milky in the Amazon, dude. It's crazy. And I'm just like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm done."
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
these girls are just like, "Oh, no, no, no. We're going to do that shit. We're camping in the Amazon tonight. Like, this is our night." Like, all right, cool. So we go back to the lodge. I go to sleep. They start gathering up their camping shit. Whatever. Lo and behold, they have a good night. Next thing I close my eyes, bro. And the next thing I got here is fucking like, it's these fucking bitches, bro. They went from our lodge, went and camped, slept, woke up, packed up their camp, and I was late for the fucking next thing. They were like in the back in the lodge. They made it way back to the lodge and like, "Wake up, Lucas, you gotta," that's my real name, Lucas. "Wake up, motherfucker, you were late for the bird watch," or whatever it was. Like, they're just legends, dude. Like, so much fucking cooler than me. But yeah, that lodge is giant. Yeah, yeah, they camped in that
They
night.
got
That shit was,
experiences to gain, man.
yeah. And there's a thing that I don't have
Yeah.
when traveling. It's kind of like that, and it's kind of like a friend who like would travel with me before, and like somebody's trying to fuck us over on prices, and I'm like, "I'm not paying that," and they're like, "Oh, I may never come back here." My thing is, I'm definitely gonna come back, you know. So that night I chose to sleep. But yeah, they're
Right.
legends, dude. They're not fucking around at all. There was a tarantula under their bed. I noticed it coming out of my bedroom, and like I told the guy, I was like, "Dude, there's a fucking tarantula right here." He's like, "Oh, okay, sweet." And he's like, "Girls, girls," and I thought he was gonna be like, "Be careful, stay over there," or whatever. He's like, "Come over here. There's a tarantula in your bed. Come check this out. It's so beautiful. You need to come see this tarantula." And they were excited as fuck too to come see it. They're like, "Oh my god, check it out." There's just craziness out there.
I don't know that I would feel that way. We went to PetSmart today and they have tarantulas there, so I like looking at them through the glass, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You just can physically see their fangs. You know, it's kind of crazy. Like, they're pretty venomous looking. But yeah,
Yeah.
fucking Iquitos is a crazy place, man, for sure. Um, I'm trying to think of where I was before I got talking about the nature. Because yeah, to be honest, there wasn't too much like actual size of tribes and like walking through that and seeing some of the. We saw some wild monkeys. That was like a thing of like taking you through the jungle. There was like the rehabilitated monkeys going around and stuff. Some wild butterflies, wild crazy butterflies with just like insane patterns on them. Like, I saw one with like, you seen the video pictures of them with like perfect little owl eyes, you know, like the yellow black, like eyes
Mm-hmm.
exactly how an owl's would look, you know, fucking just like the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
bright blue, bright red colors. Yeah, that place was a little bit more of a rehabilitation center. Like, there was wild there and like a little bit of a trail. And there was nothing where I was walking through my little feetsies. I didn't see nothing too crazy there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Quito, wow.
Did you go in further than that, or like further than your ankles?
Just however deep it got. It wasn't like the river. I swam in the river. Yeah, I forgot the air mattress in the Amazon. Yeah, I mean, no, it got to like your ankles or maybe your knees or like whatever. But we just completed the trail, for lack of a better term. You know, we just had to go through that water to get to the end of the trail. So
Sure.
that's what we did there.
Little creek
But yeah,
crossing.
it was a creek crossing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and after that it was basically I feel like I'm forgetting something major, but it's cool. Yeah, basically after that we kind of started headed home. Like I'm pretty easy, but dude, getting in swimming was pretty crazy because we stopped like let's say we're in the Amazon and we hung a left, but like just barely. The water's a little bit calmer, and so we stopped there and like got out and swam a little bit. And I was like, "Oh shit, I got this air mattress. I could float around on it." Because I keep this green dude on. I forgot what the brand of it is. I'll actually go get it because you guys need to see this air mattress. Hold on.
Okay.
Little air mattress for camping. We have one of those.
Dude, the West Tune boys.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the little
The little blow up guy. It gets way small. I mean, not small, but it gets about that small. Dude, I just keep that
So
at the
you
bottom
take
of
that
my
everywhere
backpack.
with?
Yeah, because now I can be like, I can put myself in way crazier situations and still feel pretty comfortable about sleeping. You know. And it's not like luxury.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good for like hanging out with folks, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times with wrestling, like I have a 6 a.m. flight after the show, so I don't necessarily need to or want to get a flight. So I can like go back with my friends and like get a nap on the air mattress, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Why the
Yeah.
fuck did I bring that up? Oh yeah, because I had it in my bag and I was like, dude, air mattresses kind of basically are just floaties, right? So I was like, let me see if I can just kind of hang out and lounge in the Amazon this thing. And anyways, we were swimming and doing that. And dude, we weren't exactly on the Amazon, but we kind of drifted there. And like once I got on it and we were actually in the Amazon and like letting the current like take us, dude, it fucking took us, man. Like it took me and the boat and the mattress and like it didn't get like I wasn't scared or nothing, but I'm just taken back by how far like we had to go back, you know, to where we were. And it took us like 5 minutes to get back up the river from where the current had just taken us, you know? And it felt like no time at all.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, we interrupt this regularly scheduled programming to inform you that we have had some technical difficulties that cut off like the tail end of the conversation with Hostel Bob. So, with that, we're learning. Now we know.
Yeah, there's about 27 minutes that were cut off. But most of that information was in there of the episode, the stories and everything.
And we were kind of just shooting the shit.
Yeah, we were just
so.
kind of shooting the shit anyway. There was a couple funny moments that I wish, we would have got, but yeah, these things happen, right?
Yeah.
Somebody got a phone call and I guess you have to like re-record.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I guess that's just never happened.
Yeah, we've never encountered that before. So,
Yeah.
but now we know.
No one calls us. So,
yeah. So, well, that's it for this week, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Let us know if you enjoyed this episode. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Instagram at Temporary Locals Podcast. Jared's on Instagram at Rover_Stover and YouTube at Rover Stover. And you can find me, Megan, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Mego Goes Global. And with that,
I'm Jared.
and I'm Megan. Thanks for exploring with us.
Remember to be a local anywhere you go.
Bye.
Bye.